and today's pop-up tutorial is going to show how to assemble the new Bigz Raising Platform die. Now, one thing that a lot of people probably don't know is that I do not create the card samples that end up on the front of the packaging of the dies I create for Sizzix. These are actually created by their own in-house team, and the person who made the card on the front of this package is Cara Mariano. Now, I loved Cara's card as soon as I saw it, and I like it so much that I thought that it could be a great inspiration card for the card that I'll make today on the video, and then you'll have the package to refer to when you go to remake it in your own colors and styles. But let's talk a little bit about what I picked out. Now, the first thing is I'm going to go ahead and duplicate Cara's card as far as the raising platform and then the accessory dies that she used from my Hearth and Home collection, which are the new fancy frame die, and she also used the poinsettia flower from the Noel Sizzlits set, but you'll see that the way it's styled on the packaging isn't like a poinsettia at all, so you'll be able to use that die year round. Now, what papers am I going to use? I don't know exactly what Cara used in her card, and so I just chose some things that kind of duplicate the style of hers. For my card, I'm going to go ahead and use these Webster's Pages papers. They are from the Park Drive collection. And I was actually able to find the exact Tim Holtz little charm that Cara used on her card in my stash, so I'm going to go ahead and use that on my card as well. So let's get started. My brown card is an A2 sized card, and then I'll just use the pattern paper to create a background similar to the inspiration card. I'll use cardstock for the raising platform, just some standard size cutting pads, and then roll that through the Big Shot machine. Now, it's important to check on your platform pieces that you can clearly see all of the score lines. If not, you'll need to shim it. With this die, the best bet is just to go ahead and fold everything. Find all of those little diagonal folds. You can do that with the little long pieces folded in half. Just find every fold and work it back and forth. This might be helpful. Grab a pencil and mark an X in the bottom two sections of the long side of the L, and then that little tiny tab on the back. Now you can add a little glue dot over that, and then you're going to fold in the long leg, fold in the short leg, and that little tab is going to stick then. Now you've made this little backwards L. Go ahead and work that little diagonal fold back and forth, because what you want to do is you want to press against that long fold until that whole section collapses in to the piece. Let's do it again. Press in and collapse that down into the piece. Out on the two ends, it's that same little inverted origami fold. You're just going to press the fold, invert the triangles inside. Now you'll see your X's. That's actually where your adhesive will go to attach this to the card. But first, put some adhesive inside those triangles and then attach your label to the top of the platform. And you can see now how that's going to open. You'll need adhesive in the two X panels. See how they're kind of chevron shaped? And then those are just going to line up into the fold of the card. And then you can just go ahead and attach it on the other side. I'm just going to use a tape runner because I'm a big fan of working on the insides of my cards first so that I can actually use a stapler to get in there and attach the bottom of that platform. That really helps it stay in nice and tight. And then once I do the front decoration, it just covers the staple. I'll use a piece of cardstock and pattern paper to run through the fancy frame die so that I can layer those two colors together. And you see I actually end up with two labels that way. One of them is going to go up on my platform and one I'll use on the front of the card. So for the one for the platform, I'm going to go ahead and attach the decorator piece, then stamp it, use some rub-ons, get my inking on there, and then just attach it to the top of the platform. Now it's time to cut 4 of those poinsettia flowers and 3 leaves and then a little centerpiece. And of course I'll have to do those one at a time because it is a Sizzlits. And I'll show you there how that flower is going to come out and the leaf and then that little center. So here's how I'm going to copy Cara's technique for making a fluffy flower. I'm going to fold the flower in half, then in half again, and then diagonally, and just press all of those folds. Now I'm going to unfold it. And the trick here is just like with those origami folds we did with the platform, we're going to press in 2 sides of the poinsettia flower so they collapse in on themselves. And what I've left with is basically a corner of a flower so that after I add some adhesive to my card, I'll just go ahead and ink and add a couple pop dots to give my little leaves some dimension. Then what I can do is take all 4 of those little flower quarters and arrange them around on that adhesive so that they create this kind of fluffy version of the poinsettia flower. And then what will hold it down in the middle is that little center piece, and I went ahead and inked that as well. Okay, there's only one thing left to do for the card interior, and that's to add that little metal bird charm. And then now I get to do something for the front of the card. Now, I don't really know what Cara's card looked like on the front because I never saw it. So I'm just going to make my own little version here using that leftover label and then maybe one of those metal book plates, kind of repeat the metal theme from inside the card. And I did this all on a separate panel that I could emboss, and then also once I add that to the front of the card, it will cover that staple from before and just add a little bit of extra weight to the card. And there you have it, my version of Cara's card from the front of the packaging of the Bigz Raising Platform. Thanks for watching.